Matt Holliday and the Cardinals getting set for baseball tonight. Big crowd is filing in. It's a cool evening here in the Gateway City. Skip Schumacher making some new friends just moments ago. And don't look now. Don't be afraid. Milwaukee's magic number is down to 11. It's game number 2, the Milwaukee Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals from Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Along with Al Rabosky, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Welcome to Cardinals baseball this year, turning into a magical season for the Brewers.
It really is. They've been playing solid baseball. They have a chance to have the best record ever in their existence. They're playing .596 winning percentage, and they should be going to postseason.
And Al, they have all the ingredients. Let's talk about the middle of this lineup. Prince Fielder. He is mashing the baseball again. You've got Ryan Braun, not only hitting home runs, but also average. You think about pitching, they've got starters and they've got relievers.
Oxford has picked up his 41st save yesterday. He's only had 2 blown saves. They've added pitching. Markham and Greinke have been outstanding to go along with Gallardo. And then they've got personality.
Well, Niger Morgan, he's in the lineup tonight. More on him in just a bit. But when we come back, news and notes will go around the league. And Braun with a .335 average. The home runs belong to Pujols thus far with 34. Prince Fielder is tied with Ryan Howard, 107 RBIs. Something that we noticed yesterday, Al. He hits home runs, but this guy hustles too.
This is a pop-up to second base, and look at Fielder hustle down there. Ended up about halfway when Schumacher made that play. That's outstanding.
Around the league we go. Josh Beckett, after 3 2/3, an ankle sprain. That's big for Boston. Cliff Lee, a 6 shutout this year. And Steven Strasburg, good to see him back. He'll make a start tonight.
A lot of kind of controversy there is after a guy that had Tommy John surgery just a little bit more than a year ago. and they're out of the race. Why would you bring him back this, tonight? But they know what they're doing, kind of following the Ryan Zimmerman plan, and he'd be a force for next year.
A look at Niger Morgan, or whatever he's calling himself, when we come back. That's next.
They're messing it up. Are we ready?
All right, thanks so much, Jeff. Tony Tombstone, you cowboyed up and took a visit to the seats. How were you able to get it in this stiff wind?
Well, basically, we just had to battle the elements today. Once again, we were professionals. Your boy Tony Gumbo, and people didn't believe that the professional didn't have a little bit of pop. And basically, I showed him how to cut the wind. And basically, you couldn't cut it with a chainsaw, but Plush had to bring out his Plush mental skills, and definitely we made it happen.
All right, Niger Morgan from yesterday. It's time to debate. Here's our debate. We've got Jim Hayes downstairs and Al, the Mad Hungarian, Raboski up here. Gentlemen, what do you think? Al, I'll start with you.
Well, first of all, I think as great as the game of baseball is, at times it does need a little more colorful players. Now, as being one that had an alter ego, the Mad Hungarian, I wish that Niger Morgan would stick to just one alter ego. Two is a little bit too much, Jim.
I think if the Mad Hungarian were playing today, the Mad Hungarian would be on Twitter. I get the T Plush thing, I get the Tony Gumbo thing, the Tony Tombstone thing, but as a guy who's inclined to root for the Cardinals, I don't find it that amusing. I'm sure Brewers fans do. And talking to some of the Cardinal players, they said if a guy who's done it for a longer period of time, like Prince Fielder, wanted to have a couple of alter egos, that would be fine.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Niger Morgan, yep, he's in the lineup tonight, and Kyle Loesch will try to shut him down. Baseball coming up.
In St. Louis, stretching their NL Central lead into double digits. The Cardinals are still alive, but barely, and they'll need a solid performance from their starter tonight, Kyle Loesch. They'll also need to attack Milwaukee's 15-game winner, Yovani Gallardo, and no player pummels Gallardo better than Albert Pujols. Some of the best players in the game on display at Busch Stadium tonight. First pitch next on Fox Sports Midwest. Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. By Chevy. See your Mid-America Chevy dealers. By Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. #1 in quality tires and expert auto service. And by Steak and Shake. Life needs flavor. Beautiful night here in downtown St. Louis. Another crowd of over 30,000 expected in the ballpark tonight for game number 2 between Milwaukee and the St. Louis Cardinals. Hart, Morgan, and Braun, followed by Fielder, McGee, Bettencourt, Counsell, Lucroy, and Gallardo.
Kyle Loesch pitching on 9 days rest, so you worry about that early command. And he's had some struggles in the second half, but he's 4-1 because he's got high run support. Really, he's had his problems with Milwaukee.
So Kyle Loesch trying to pick up another win. It's Holiday, Jay, and Berkman in the outfield. Freeze for Kyle, Schumacher, and Pujols along the infield. This is presented by Dobbs. Loesch on the mound, Molina behind the plate. Jared from Subway throwing out our ceremonial first pitch tonight. And we want to thank Subway for their great support of Cardinals baseball all season long and also here on Fox Sports Midwest.
Gerald was just up in the booth with us. Got a chance to meet him again. And all season long we've enjoyed the fine sandwiches from Subway.
Corey Hart will lead it off. We talked a little bit about this in game number 1. Corey Hart, a guy that normally over the years has been in the middle of the lineup, if not down in the lineup for Milwaukee. But here he is, their leadoff man, and it really has paid off big time for the Milwaukee Brewers this year.
Well, he's currently in a 17-game hitting streak. That's his 3rd double-digit hitting streak of the year.
For a guy that has a very good sinker like Loesch, I know you always talk about it's better when you're worn down, so we'll see if that long rest is beneficial here tonight for Loesch, or is it counterproductive?
I think a lot of it is mind over matter. You go out there and just concentrate, but it is true that a lot of sinker ballers like to pitch tired. Derek Lilliquist watching on.
Reaching for it, lifted into left center field, and it's a base hit for Hart. Cut off by Holiday. Gets it back in. Leadoff double for Corey Hart.
Mentioned that Loesch has had trouble with Milwaukee, but he has contained Corey Hart. He was just 1 for 14 before that double.
18-game hitting streak for Hart.
Kind of a hanging breaking ball and stayed up a little bit. He did have to reach for it, but you know, he's a big man for a leadoff man, and he plugged the gap out in left center.
Now it's Nyjer Morgan. Homered here yesterday. Would expand any more on your pregame segment just moments ago, you and Jim Hayes?
Well, I got to be very careful. You know, if somebody is called the Mad Hungarian who had an alter ego, and I forgot that he does have more than one. He's got at least 3 now.
Did you ever do an interview?
It was a little bit much, the interview.
I was going to say, I know you had the alter ego of the Mad Hungarian, but I'm sure, knowing you, you never did a interview like that.
Hopefully not.
From what you can remember,
from what I can remember, and as you've reminded me several times, I've lost a lot of memory from the 70s.
The 70s has become a blur for you. But as you always tell me,
I'm not the only one.
You always tell me, but Dan, I had a lot of fun.
I did. I had a lot of fun.
0-2 the count on Nyjer Morgan. Infield is in for the Cardinals. Swing and a miss, a strikeout of Morgan.
Kyle got the changeup. He's a little bit out in front. Great location getting that ball down. So there you see the circle changeup. You also see that tattoo on his right forearm, really disguising or masquerading that nasty fishhook scar that runs almost from the wrist to the elbow and back down.
Here's Ryan Braun. He homered to center yesterday. What a talented player he is. Batting .335, 27 home runs, 95 RBIs.
And he leads the National League in runs scored, batting average, slugging percentage. To me, I would give him the edge in the MVP over his teammate Prince Fielder.
And you wonder if those two will split the votes and somebody else sneaks in. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Matt Kemp. The problem is he plays on a team that is under 500 and 12.5 games back. He's a 30-30 man already this year. 2
pretty good candidates, but Braun is, you know, he's just almost in the top 10 in every offensive category. Home runs, he's tied for 10th. Everything else, he's first, second, third, or fourth.
Remember, he came up as an infielder, made a lot of errors, never took that to the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Milwaukee, realizing that they couldn't keep him there, moved him to left field. And visiting with some of their personnel today, Al, they talk about Braun being an above-average left fielder with a pretty good arm.
I'm not sure about above average, but he is a better defensive player than Prince Fielder also.
1-2 the count. Outfield, for the most part, straight away. In center, they shade him a little bit opposite field. Hates the outside corner, but doesn't get the call. 2-2. There's Chris Carpenter, and he'll go tomorrow against Zach Greinke, former Cy Young Award winners, matching up tomorrow. A 2-2 pitch. Full count. We talk about the 1-2 combination of Pujols and Holiday. How about these two? Braun and Fielder back to back.
Ryan is 3 for 9 with 2 home runs against Kyle Loesch. Really kind of struggled against Milwaukee, but in 9 starts, he's never allowed more than 4 runs.
And he walked him. First walk issued by Loesch. Runners at first and second. And here's Fielder. 107 RBIs, and you saw in our pregame show, he is tied at the top of the list with Ryan Howard for RBIs.
Also show you a shot in our open about Prince Fielder hitting a pop-up to second base. It was out on the outfield grass, but hustling all the way, got halfway to second before it was caught. And they say he's been doing that all season long.
Will he do it next year after his big contract? There's a fly ball into center. You would hope it would stay that way. Jay makes the catch, and there's 2 down. Steven Strasburg returns to the major leagues tonight, 3 1/3. He's given up 1 hit, no runs. Good for baseball, the fans, to see him back.
And obviously he's doing that in the Nationals part to try and generate more offense, but a lot of people kind of questioned the move, you know, a little more than a year, but are you bringing him back too soon for a lost cause?
2 outs, 2 on. And on the flip side, you could say, well, we're going to give him an off season to know in the back of his mind he's healthy and pitching at the major leagues.
And in my mind, that's most important. You know, if you allow a pitcher that's been on the shelf, if you can just bring him back, even if he just pitches 1 time, then he can have a, you know, a solid off season and not worry about, you know, whether I'm physically able to weather the stand. So, you know, he'll have that settled in his mind.
Such a highly competitive division, National League East. The Phillies and their great starting pitching, great team all around. Atlanta looks like they're headed to postseason play. We'll see them this weekend. And the Nationals may be the team to beat, though, in the future with all the young talent that they have in the minor leagues.
It kind of reminds you of the Atlanta Braves, you know, before they started that great run of, 14 consecutive division titles or postseason appearances. You know, they were so bad for so many years, they got all those top draft picks, and they did select the right ones.
John Mozeliak, Al, I was emceeing a function tonight, and he spoke to the crowd. He made the point of, you know, we can spend money, and we have spent a lot of money, over $100 million with this roster and this payroll, but if we don't replenish with a farm system, it's all for naught, because we will hit hard times. Any team will.
Absolutely. You know, even the Yankees, I think, are starting to realize that too, that you have to develop from within. You can't buy every free agent. You aren't going to make every trade. It's not going to work in your favor. So if you can add a free agent here and there, but you better have the nucleus from your farm system.
John also making the point that Albert Pujols, obviously they want to have him back, and there's a plan that's been formulated to try to get him, but you just saw Chris Carpenter, and he said what we've also learned is that it comes down to pitching. He said everybody knows that, and we have to have good starting pitching, and they'd love to have Carpenter back.
Well, the Cardinals have a great offensive team. Milwaukee had a great offensive team. But the difference is they went out and got starting pitching, and they solidified their bullpen.
That's a walk in the second in the inning. Brings in Betancourt with the bases loaded.
To me, this is a reflection of the 9 days off. The 2 walks here.
Unieski, Betancourt, not Court.
Now, you forget about the T. We understand that, and he is from Cuba, but it is very distasteful to his family to pronounce the T. So we apologize for future years. And he never made that known until just about a month or so ago.
Oh, 0-1 the count. Bases are loaded here in the first inning. Popped up. Is it playable? Pujols is over near the Cardinal dugout. He has it. No score after a half inning. August 11th, it was Rafael Furcal, leadoff homer, then Pujols took him deep. And then recently, they did it again, September 1st against Gallardo. This time at Miller Park. There's Furcal. How about Albert? High, towering shot, one of the longest home runs of the year. Scouting report on the big right-hander.
Well, Cards hit him well. You just got a little bit of that. Fastball command in the may determine whether it's going to be a long day or a short day. And he's a good hitter. He has career high or franchise high 9 home runs and a .220 batting average. But Cardinals last Thursday hit 4 home runs against him, including the 29th leadoff home run of Furcal's career. The day before, he hit a leadoff home run, number 28, batting right-handed. And then Albert followed in the first also.
And you were exactly right. It was fastball command that was the issue with Gallardo last time we saw him.
Now, he's already won 15 ball games, a career high. 14 last season. He's only 25 years of age. But there are times when he just doesn't have his good stuff.
And you wonder if Milwaukee, when they get to postseason play, see that and say, well, do we drop him, you know, in our rotation in the playoffs and maybe go with a veteran at the top?
Dan, you might think that, but really it just seems like he has his problems against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
You know, he's 1-6 lifetime with an ERA near 6 in 10 starts. But he seems to be very effective against everybody else.
2-2. Held up in a full count here in the bottom of the first. No score. Here's a 3-2 pitch. And it's a leadoff walk to Furcal. A look at the Cardinals lineup for Furcal, Jay and Pujols, followed by Holiday, Berkman, and Freese, Schumacher, Molina, and Kyle Loesch. Braun, Morgan, and Hart in the outfield. This is presented by Dobbs, McGee, Betancourt, Counsell, and Fielder along the infield. Gallardo and Lucroy, the battery tonight. Here's John Jay, who's hitting .301.
John Jay had a rare off day yesterday. In quite a while since he's missed a a game, and he has played in the most games of any Cardinal.
And you would have to assume going into next year he would be looked at as your everyday center fielder.
Mentioned he sat out for the first game since April 23rd. And he's playing in his 139th game of the season, most of the team.
0-1 pitch. Instead of check on for Cowell. What has been so frustrating this year for the Cardinals, double plays. They hit into 2 more yesterday, and they very well could set the all-time record in the National League for hitting into double plays.
Which was set by, I believe, the 58 Cardinal team. They're 15 away.
0-1 pitch. Hit to third. Out at second. And no chance at first. Turned by Counsell. No chance with the speed of John Jay.
Really wasn't hit that hard, and Craig Counsell kind of feels the pressure of Raphael coming in. They'll try and use his arm there to disrupt the return throw. Look out, folks in the bleachers, because Albert owns Gallardo.
He is 6 for his last 6 against Gallardo.
And overall 12 for 25 with 4 home runs, a .480 average. And Dan, Gallardo is one of the better pitchers in the league, too.
Saw the turn by Counsell. Ricky Weeks, they're hoping to activate their everyday second baseman this weekend when they go to Philly.
And Ricky Weeks had a severe ankle sprain. Still trying to get him to be able to cut, to be able to run the bases.
1-0 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Vocalist from the Dominican Republic throwing out our first pitch to Albert Pujols. Hector Acosta.
El Torito. Albert kind of taking him around the clubhouse during batting practice. Shadowing, there he is.
Inside to Pujols, 2 balls and 1 strike. As the Brewers begin playing tonight, they are 28 games over 500. 28 for the first time since they finished 1982 at 95 and 67.
Kind of got the sense last week when the Cardinals swept the Brewers. They have already won 50 games at home this year. That the fan base kind of panicked a little bit because it's been so long since they've won. Back in '82, but Ron Renick's team did not. They didn't like it, but they took it in stride. Then they went to Houston, took care of business, and they won the first game of the series here yesterday.
Here's a 3-1. Runner goes, and it's a foul ball.
Albert a couple days ago had an article and talked about if he would have accepted more walks this season, he would be well over 300. Chasing that at 295. We've seen a lot of times this season he's expanded his zone, just trying to do too much. Make sure he delivers the pitch, and I'm sure he'll be off on the pitch.
3-2 pitch in the dirt. Well, Anheuser-Busch had the Clydesdales here tonight. Dave Peacock, the president of Anheuser-Busch, throwing out a first pitch as well. There was Shane Robinson, and Dave is very, very involved in numerous charities here in town, and a St. Louisan from the Webster Groves area, now the president of Anheuser-Busch, and they wrote a check tonight for $2 million to the United Way. So congratulations to Dave, who's really one of the great people in town, and also good folks at Anheuser-Busch.
Well, and I could see your influence on your neighbor, Dave Peacock, that you were playing catch with him. And that's why he had such an exceptional first pitch.
He was smoking it in there.
It was 96, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Dave's a really good person, and congratulations to Dave and also Anheuser-Busch. $2 million for the United Way.
Just to start.
And you never get sick of seeing the Clydesdales.
No.
They came here too.
Tony was on the front step.
Shocking. Well, chance here for the Cardinals. First inning. No balls and a strike on Matt Holliday.
Pitcher like Gallardo, you got to get him when you have a chance because he may settle in. But kind of expected this could be the case here in the first inning.
That's just one of many charities Dave and AB are involved with here in town. 1-1 the count here on Holliday.
There's Whitey.
Never get sick of seeing him either.
No.
Love seeing him here at the ballpark.
He's got his golf tournament the end of the month. Might even be the same day as Lou Brock has his. A little competition. I think it's like September 25th.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. Instead, step off by Gallardo.
Either pitcher very sharp in the early going, and Loesch got through his unscathed. And Gallardo and LaCroix are having a hard time getting together on a pitch.
Strikeout of Matt Holliday.
Holliday just doesn't get a good read on Gallardo. Swings at a pitch off the plate. Breaking ball. Now 3 for 16 off of Gallardo. Berkman 7 for 24.
Two outs, 2 on. First pitch to Berkman. Ground ball right side, base hit. John Jay will score, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. RBI number 84 for Berkman.
That's good to see because Lance is, about the last 6 weeks, has contributed an occasional home run, but very few RBIs. So good to see him finish strong. Albert did a nice job to screen Prince Fielder. Kind of delayed going to second base and really kind of got his body in front of the first baseman so he really couldn't see where that ball was going to be, and then it went beyond his reach.
It's the first time the Cardinals have taken a lead and scored first in this homestand. Not David Freese. Picked up a double to right center yesterday. And that's strike one.
And things David last season, remember, it was cut short with the ankle surgery. But his first at bat, he was very productive. He had about 60% of his RBIs came in his first at bat.
0-1 pitch. Boy, he's already had enough.
And he's already been hit in the head once this season. wasn't a breaking ball or something soft either. That was a fastball.
And that's taken a little bit low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Cousins, our home plate umpire and crew chief. See how his strike zone, but neither pitcher's going to really get borderline pitches. Just looking how Darrell Cousins is standing. And he's standing very tall, and so the low pitch is not going to be called. He's almost looking at the top of the shoulders. Doesn't really get down in a crouch down behind that catcher at all, and so he really doesn't see the low pitch, and you don't expect it to be called tonight.
Two. Word out of Florida is that Hanley Ramirez is done for the year. He'll have surgery on his shoulder September 15th, and that's got to be worrisome for the organization as they move into that new ballpark next year. You just wonder, and it goes back to Pujols, if there is a wild card team that's out there that would take a run at Albert Pujols.
Well, speaking of that, there has been some speculation that the Florida Marlins moving into that new stadium with all the Latin influence there. The citizenry of South Florida, but also the whole Caribbean, that he's a mega star there, and that would be a little surprising.
There's a strikeout of Freese on a 3-2 pitch. RBI for Berkman, and it's 1-0. But hasn't been from a lack of his pitching. It's been a lack of run support. 2.73 are Toyota keys to the game.
I mentioned that 9 total starts against Milwaukee. He's never allowed more than 4 runs in those 9 starts. So really not getting a lot of run support.
Going back to Pujols for a moment too, Al. Such a slow start at one point. As you get a look at Council now, Albert hitting .231 after the first month. So it gives you an idea just how good he has been since then, and in particular since the All-Star break. And in the month of September, he's hitting .500 coming into play. He's never hit below .312 in September, so he finishes with a flourish.
And he's going to need to do that to get his average over 300, get the 15 more RBIs for 100.
Strikeout for Kyle Loesch. His second of the evening, and it brings in Lucroy. $11 home runs and 55 driven in this year. Fastball right down the middle for strike one. There's a high fly ball. Center field, John Jay. Lance Berkman, by the way, is 100th career RBI against Milwaukee.
Matt Holliday deposited that baseball in the eye, knocking out the I and the G. See, it's not lit today. That was in BP.
Now, Albert did that in a game where he knocked out the I in Big Mac land.
That's funny because you always hear Albert talking about we, not I.
0-2 the count. That was awful. Strikeout of Gallardo. Number 3 on the night. Tonight, you're invited into Krispy Kreme tomorrow, and you'll receive a dozen of their original glazed donuts for only $2.99. Stop by one of the 4 St. Louis area Krispy Kremes for this sensational deal. Line on Strasburg, Al, 40 pitches. Excuse me, 56 pitches, 40 strikes, 5 innings, 2 hits, no walks, no runs, struck out 4.
Now, another aspect why you bring him back is pay dividends on that huge contract.
Good point. Here's a high fly ball off the bat of Schumacher into right center, and Hart makes the catch. Going right in front of him was Niger Morgan, and Hart made the play for the first out.
It's a little funny to see the center fielder, who a lot of times takes charge, end up in front of. But of course, Niger and all 3 of his personalities would be crushed by Hart. There you see the center fielder peel off, and Hart makes the play.
Strasburg now with 13 big league starts. He's given up 1 run or fewer in 7 of them. And he's had more strikeouts than hits allowed in 10. I'd say he's got a chance to be pretty good.
And he's got his Tommy John surgery out of the way.
That's out of the way. Keep the shoulder healthy and hope for a long career. You think about, too, the interest in him attendance-wise. Not like being a gimmick, but, you know, when he first burst onto the scene, that place was packed.
And as you also said, you know, they've got him, they've got Bryce Harper. We've got a couple of really talented players on that team, and these super prospects on the way. So they are going to be a team to reckon with in the next few years.
2-1 the count. Mentioned yesterday, Molina very close to 300. He's at 295. 12 home runs. He's driven in 52. Happy 64th anniversary to Ed and Esther Ostrike. Happy 64th anniversary to Ed and Esther Ostrike. Two-two pitch. And a grounder that's hit to short. 2 away, and it brings in Loesch. Big gap in left center. Loesch on the year, hitting 145. Strike at the knees. 2 outs, nobody on. I'm told that Morgan is constantly talking to himself out in center field, too.
He's having a conversation with T Plush or Tony whatever.
The way from Houston to St. Louis, they all were dressed up as cowboys.
Yeah, so I think he's got a Tony Cowboy now, 1-2.
Nyjer Morgan as we head to break. By BMW. Come out to the new BMW Drive for Team USA event and get behind the wheel of a BMW to show your support. And everybody on HP. 1-0 lead for the Cardinals. Top of the third. Clydesdale's here tonight. Lifted into left center. Jay on the move. He's got it. Good jump by John Jay. Fans thought they may have a souvenir. A little bit short.
Up there in their Coca-Cola Pavilion, they were looking down. Here we'll see John Jay make the plays. Corey Hart 1 for 2, extended the city streak to 17 games.
Here's Niger Morgan. Infield is in. Struck out his first time up. Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin, Jim Hayes with you. Our Fox Sports Midwest crew. We've had a lot of questions about Nick Stavanoa, the kind of season he's put together. Why isn't he here? Well, Stavanoa, Jim, not on the 40-man roster, so no room.
And with the depth in the outfield, Tony's saying it's one of those things that's just an injustice. He says Stavanoa deserves to be here, and they all feel bad about it. It's just one of those seasons where it doesn't work out. And Tony pointed out that he himself, back in 1972, as this is skied to center, was it the Braves organization, AAA, and he was fourth in the National League in hitting. Didn't get the call up, so he knows how tough it can be.
This Friday, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older receive a gray and pink knit scarf, courtesy of Coca-Cola and Schnucks. Portions of the money that's brought in on Friday night will go to breast cancer awareness. Visit cardinals.com/promotions. 2 away.
Tony was also saying, you know, he's in no position to advise Nick, but he says the fact that Nick has worked behind the plate, Tony says he should keep doing that because as a backup catcher, you enhance your value.
Versatility.
No doubt about it. I mean, if you can show the willingness to get back behind the plate, some guys have been able to extend their big league career by 10 years.
Here's a 1-0 pitch.
And, you know, the real injustice is I could pair a couple guys off that 40-man roster.
Well, that, you know, 28 homers for Stavanoa, 109 RBIs, and last year he showed he can come off the bench, he can pinch hit.
That's hit sharply to third and through the legs of Freeze. Got a glove on it.
It should be his 10th error of the season.
Committed an error here yesterday, too.
Some people kind of think, we wonder if he's just kind of wearing out a little bit. You know, it's been so long since he's played this much. Last 2 years had his season ended early, and this year he did miss 54 games with the, you know, with a broken hand, but it kind of looks like he's wearing down a little bit.
Al, he'd be the first to tell you that even though if he is wearing down, he can't afford to do that. He has to be able to show he can play. Now Fielder is hit, and it's first and second.
I agree with you, but and then the ball just gets away. Fielder kind of throws the, see him kind of lean in a little bit with the thigh and takes it off the side and say, I'm okay.
Tony La Russa was asked the other day if he had plans to rest Freeze toward the end of the season, and Tony said not really. They want to let him play, and he said we've been real careful with David, making sure he got days off along the way, so they feel like he's okay.
Not only that, and then people sometimes wonder why they take him out and bring in Descalso. That's part of the rest that they are trying to achieve for David Freeze. You almost wonder too with Berkman. Remember, they were going to rest him quite a bit, and then he got so hot the first half, played a little bit more than what originally was designed, and you wonder if he's kind of hit a wall now.
Picked up a base hit tonight and an RBI, but as you noted, Al, the numbers have been down lately.
Still a remarkable season for him.
1-1 pitch. If you're Tony, you see that hot hand and you know what kind of damage Berkman has done in the past. Pretty tough to sit him.
Right. And then when you read in the paper that Tyler Green's going to get a lot of playing time, but then you kind of sense that, Tony La Russa and people would like to see more of Furcal and make a judgment on bringing him back.
Another chance here for Freeze. He'll go across the diamond and makes the play. Milwaukee strands 2. Midway through 3, and the Cardinals on top. SportsMidwest.com. As you watch the game on TV, you can join the conversation about the game on Twitter, track trends and stats. Game Connect brought to you by Jack in the Box, and find it at FoxSportsMidwest.com. Milwaukee is stranded 5 so far as we move to the bottom of the 3rd. The Cardinals have the top of the lineup for Kyle, Jay, and Pujols. There's no doubt, Jim, the Cardinals really want to keep Rafael Furcal, especially with what they've seen with his glove.
They're being very upfront with the fact that they would like to have him back. They said he's been an instant upgrade defensively. The question remains, what can he be offensively? Now, some in the Cardinals organization feel like with the injuries and everything, he got himself into a hole that he just couldn't climb out of, and that his return to offensive prominence might possibly still happen. But at what price? And that's the question, and that's what the Cardinals will have to work out.
Option of $12 million. Furcal showing bunt. Takes it away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Missouri Lottery bringing you Fox Tracks this half inning.
He's hit .222 as a Cardinal, and he missed 63 games with a broken thumb and oblique muscle strain.
I mean, he gives him speed at the top of the lineup. No question, the defense seems to be every bit as good as it was.
I think it would be even better as he gets in there and gets his offense going too, and he stays healthy.
Hits it towards 3rd, and Casey McGee makes the play. Nick Punto has been activated, and he's ready to roll.
It's good to see Nick back. He's battled so many injuries, you almost feel bad for the guy. But to his credit, he stayed with it. He said he'd be back with the September call-ups. The Cards pulled him off the DL, and there he is.
Punto time. Well, we sure like the way he plays defense.
Here's John Jay with Pujols to follow. 1-0 St. Louis. Jay hits it out of play. Just joined us. It was a Lance Berkman base hit to right that drove in Jay for the only run tonight.
And another aspect of what we're talking about, the Pujols, the Carpenter, Furcal, getting them at a reasonable price.
And Jay hits it out to deep right. Carter's back at the wall, and it's gone. Into the bullpen it goes. Home run number 10 for John Jay.
You have to have the John Jays and the younger players, the 0 to 3 players, to kind of balance out your payroll so you can have the core guys making the most of the money. That's why your
Nissan drive of the game.
The farm system is so important to have guys like John Jay come up through it. They're low cost and high return. 10 run, 34 RBIs.
You're thinking maybe an Alan Craig, if you don't bring back Berkman, fits in right field.
You think Alan Craig's going to fit in someplace, but I think the organization would love to see him have a more playing time.
Strike 2 on Pujols.
I think Berkman's coming back.
Not many fans would like to see that. 0-2 pitch. Ooh, just missed on the inside corner. Pujols, a grounder, foul. For 25 against Gallardo. Two and two. Holiday is on deck. Two 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the third.
I haven't seen this type of shift too often. The second baseman playing behind second base bag and shortstop way in the hole.
And a grounder too short. 2 away. Speaking of shortstop, Tyler Green, as we talked about, is up. Tony, though, has talked about guys earning their playing time.
Tony says he doesn't put a ton of stock in what guys do with the September call-ups, but he wants to see what Tyler Green can do with maybe a little bit more playing time at shortstop. They plan to use him at shortstop, even though Tyler has played other positions. His numbers at AAA were really, really good, and Tyler says this time around he feels better equipped to deal with being in there for a game or two and then not being in there because he struggled earlier in the season with the big club.
The ball outside to Matt Holliday. Boy, his numbers in the minor leagues are eye-popping. 66 games, and he put up big numbers.
You talk to the players that play with him at the minor leagues, they say he's a different player. He just plays outstanding, free and easy. He comes up here, and for whatever reason, he's been very tight. And he's had 3 or 4 years to show what he can do up here, former #1 draft pick. You hope he can get it resolved and, as you said, better equipped.
2-1. I mean, he hits for power. He steals bases. They say his defense is fine. And you wonder, Al, if it's just a situation where he needs to play every day to get more comfortable here and not the spot starts that he's seen. That's ripped. Opposite way. Look at this power shown by Matt Holliday. It's a home run. Home run, Matt Holliday.
We know he can hit it out of any part of the ballpark. No one's stronger on this team, or maybe in all baseball, than Matt Holliday. And really kind of got that on the handle. Really didn't get it out on the sweet part of the bat. And he just drives it, muscles it over the right field wall.
Is that kid woken up yet? The fan out there looked like he was sleeping. Here's Berkman, and it's a 3-0 St. Louis lead.
Oh, that 4-year-old had a tough day at work today.
Could be tough, Al.
It could. Of course, Jim would never know that.
You know, Jim's a dad.
Oh, that's right. That's why he gets all the days off.
My son's 2.5, and he's had some tough days.
Young Tyler.
Yeah. See that? He'll have a baseball when he wakes up.
The fireworks didn't even get him.
No. Got the rally squirrel, but not that young man.
Two balls and one strike, 3-0 St. Louis. Home run by Jay, home run by Holiday. Off the end of the bat, a foul ball.
Last time we faced Gallardo, Cardinals hit 4 home runs against him.
That is just sheer power from Matt Holiday to hit that ball like that out opposite field. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, and Berkman strikes out. Jim, as always, fantastic job. We'll hear from you on the post-game show. A pair of home runs. It started with Jay to the bullpen and right. We'll stay with that theme to right field. Opposite way, Matt Holiday. His 22nd. Three to nothing Cardinals. Top of the fourth rolls in. Jim Hayes as sharp as ever during that third inning as Jay and Holiday go deep. The fly ball out to left. Next time you want to catch a Cardinals game, head to StubHub. As Betancourt is retired, you'll find the seats you want and the freedom to choose where you'd like to sit. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of your St. Louis Cardinals. So for John Jay, his 10th home run, number 22 for Matt Holiday, and still not exciting enough to wake up that young fan.
Now the phone's starting to ring, though. Text message. Grandpa doing his job.
A little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
We had Harrison come out of the game yesterday with a neck problem, and Council has very good numbers against Kyle Loesch. Gets the start.
Must be thrilling for Council to be back in Milwaukee. He's had a couple of stints with them and a long-time major league player, but another chance to go to postseason play and maybe bring a championship to his hometown team. Changeup, that's a good one. Popped up, don't hurt, don't get hurt. Molina makes the catch.
You mentioned the changeup, that was a big bet for Westbrook. And Kyle Loesch has a good one. You know, you don't really think of Westbrook throwing a lot of changeups, but you do see that pitch from Kyle Loesch, and there was a very good one.
LaCroix will be the hitter. He's flied out to center. 0 for 1. Much easier play for the third baseman coming in, but Molina makes a good catch. And the first pitch is taken low and away. Milwaukee with a 10.5 game lead over the Cardinals. 5 back is St. Louis. The Reds. Pittsburgh 19.5 out. And Chicago and Houston have already been eliminated. Three and 0.
Ron Renicky, now one of 3 former coaches for Mike Scioscia that are managing in the big leagues.
Ron Renicky or Kurt Gibson for manager of the year?
Well, Ron Renicky's done a great job, but he had a contending team. I think you got to give it to Gibson.
I do too. And a low walk to the 8th place hitter LaCroix, and now it's Gallardo. Yeah, what they're doing now, Al, is just it's shocking. They have a lead of 7 games now in the West. 81-60. And they're winning again tonight, 1-0. We were thinking maybe Colorado, it was their year. They're 9 games under 500. Drew Pomeranz, who was the #1 pick by the Indians a couple of years ago, will make his major league debut with the Rockies on Sunday. Former standout at Ole Miss, and I bring him up because his brother was in the Cardinals organization.
Yeah, that's right.
Stewart. Base hit into center field for Gallardo.
Well, Gallardo, a good hitting pitcher, came in batting .220. 1 home run this year, but 9 career home runs. That's a franchise high. And a solid single up the middle. Only the 2nd hit allowed, but because of walks, hit batter, and error, they have stranded 5 before this inning.
So 2 outs, 2 on, a 3-run lead for St. Louis. And it brings in Corey Hart. Already Milwaukee is stranded 5 in 3 innings.
And Dan, I think when you look back on this inning, Kyle Loesch with a 3-0 lead kind of kicks himself for walking the 8th place hitter.
No doubt. It's out of play. He's hit a man, he's walked 3. Allowed just 2 base hits. One and 2. Out to center. Jay on the move. At the track. Makes the catch. Hart gave it a ride. And Milwaukee has stranded 7 already. Iowa and Iowa State at 11. Don't forget Big 12 Showcase on Fridays, Big 12 Live Saturday nights. Fox Sports Midwest, your home for the Big 12. Three to nothing in favor of the Cardinals. They had me thinking, Al. I was thinking about the three managers that were under Mike Scioscia. He was one of the longest tenured managers now in baseball with Anaheim, and I had Renicky, and I was thinking Joe Madden, and I forgot about Bud Black.
That's right. San Diego, Bud Black was his pitching coach.
I've spoken to Dave Duncan about managing, and did he ever want to do it, or does he still have a desire? And he said at one point, yes, but he said, you know what, that ship has sailed. Even if an opportunity came, it's not what I want to do. Going two.
Dave's always accountable, and you know, he always is available for us to ask him questions and stuff. Pitching coach is a little more difficult because they got a lot more duties, but I just don't know if he'd really want to work with the media.
Matter of fact, he said that. He said, I watch what Tony does day in and day out, and he said it wouldn't be the worst thing.
Right. He'd handle
he could do it, but it's not something would be a favorite of his, put it that way.
Dealing with Jim Hayes every day.
Ooh. Betancourt, nice play, and takes a hit away from Freeze. Gallardo, home runs allowed 24 this season, with 8 of those coming against the Redbirds.
And that's why I say, really when you look at his problems with the Cardinals, it really doesn't translate with the rest of the National League. ERA near 6 with the Cardinals and 1-6 career mark.
Here's Skip Schumacher.
Did throw a shutout earlier this year against the Redbirds.
Schumacher flied out to deep right first time up, 0 for 1. You hear so much about chemistry and what happens in the clubhouse, and this is certainly one of the leaders of the team, and Cardinals have a decision what to do with Skip after this year. He would be sorely missed inside that clubhouse. I spoke to Skip the other day. He wants to come back.
And Skip, he's would make that an easy option for the Cardinals. Just to, I'll be very reasonable, and look like maybe next year he's not going to have a starting job, but he'll be platooning somewhat of what he's doing right now. But he could play several different positions.
Two. Third strikeout of the night. And it brings in Yadier Molina, grounded out to short. You think about trying to keep all these players, and as you've talked about, Al, you got to have some of the guys step up that aren't making big money. Descalso, Alan Craig, John Jay, those kind of players are a must.
And then a guy like Molina, there's an option for him, but what he's done, 3 Gold Gloves, a couple All-Star games, he's going to start making more and more money. It becomes more attractive, but he's the best in the National League, so you've got to pay the fare.
1-0 pitch to Molina.
I always tell a lot of players, don't overprice themselves. And then you kind of look at Milwaukee. They offered Casey McGee like a 3-year contract. He turned it down, and now he's having the worst year of his career.
That's coming from a guy that was cut loose by another organization.
Yeah, that's the hard thing. You know, Casey was let go by the Cubs. That's how he got to Milwaukee, and then he had the great year last year. Was, you know, their most valuable player. They try to reward him, and he kind of turned it down, and then you run the risk of having a bad season, and that offer disappears.
Came in hitting .239 tonight. Numbers are down with 12 home runs, 65 driven in. 2-2 the count, 2 outs, nobody on. 3-0 Cardinals. They've hit a pair of home runs.
Give you an idea, we just gave McGee's numbers, but last season 285, 23 home runs, and 104 RBIs. 102 as a third baseman, setting the franchise record for RBIs at third.
A 3-2 pitch. And a walk to the 8th place hitter, Molina.
Third walk by Gallardo. First one since the first inning. Once again, you know, walking that 8th place hitter. You really should be bearing down on an 8th place hitter, and then you feel like you've got an easier path the following year or the following inning with the pitcher up first.
Molina has about a 2-step lead, and you wonder, the fielder, does he even need to be on the bag? He can almost move.
Stand behind him.
Yeah, either stand behind him or step
or in
a little
front
bit to
of
his
him,
right.
but
Front,
to his
yeah.
right.
Now he does that. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And then this time, you know, he got thrown out trying to advance on a ball that got away from the catcher. Didn't go far enough away and got thrown out at second base yesterday. This time the ball got clearly out of the dirt and 5 or 6 more feet onto the grass, and he was headed back to the first base.
One and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes for Kyle on deck. Cardinals struck first tonight in the first inning with a base hit by Berkman and 2 home runs, solo shots in the third, one by Jay, the other by Holiday. 3-run lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Loesch pops it up. Counsell is over and makes the catch. We played 4, and it's 3-0 St. Louis. Trivia. What was the last season in which the Cardinals had 5 starters with 10+ wins? Think back to 04, 05. Okay, Carpenter, Soup, Mulder, Morris, Marquis.
And that's what Milwaukee has. All 5 of their starters have won at least 10 games, and they've only used 6 all season long. That tells you where your rotation's staying intact. And he's still sleeping, huh?
I think he's moved.
Probably wake up in the 9th inning. 8.5 innings.
Niger Morgan looks at a strike underway here in the top of the 5th. Struck out, also flied out to center. Pulled foul. Nothing in 2. Milwaukee has left 7 on tonight and only 2 base hits.
You a fan of his interview that we played?
No. Nope, I'm not. Base hit into center. Long season, though, Al. You got to have a little fun.
See if Loesch gets this changeup down. It's our Hyundai Fox Exmo Cam. See him just reaching up there, but it still was a little bit high in the zone. It's right around the belt. Needs.
You knew my answer.
Oh, of course I did. You know, this is a great game, but at times it needs a little more color, and you want personalities. But then every time you get somebody that steps up and becomes a personality, then people criticize him.
Yeah.
But I think he is a little extreme. Even the Milwaukee broadcasters just say he's just flat out crazy.
Big lead at first. And Braun hits it out to right center. Jay is back. He's been busy tonight. That's his 3rd catch that he's made on the track.
Kyle Loesch knows how far that wall is.
Ooh.
Using every bit of that distance. And Jay has been very casual going back. Once again, Hyundai brings you this catch on the warning track. As long as they end up in his glove, keep on throwing them.
We've really liked his defense from day one.
Well, he's just fundamentally very sound. And I remember earlier this year he made a mistake on a ball, but he learned from it, and that was the last time we ever saw him make that same mistake. And that's all you can ask.
Dave McKay working with the outfielders. I felt, Al, I don't know if you would agree, but an issue with Rasmus, with his great speed, he'd get the balls, but you wouldn't see him take charge on many balls that a center fielder should.
Absolutely. And he really did have trouble when it got near the wall. You go back to the games in San Francisco where we had back-to-back games that really we lost. One was a catch that was, should have been made to end the ball game. Lose that one. There's another one that was off the wall where he really, shied away from it.
I think about a couple of here that were hitting left center, and it seemed like that's when he had his issues, going to his right.
Correct. And that's where the same were in San Francisco, out in left center. Times when, he needed to demonstrate his good arm, and he threw a ball short of second base, trying to go home.
And I talked to him about that, and he said, I finally wanted to just stop thinking about it and react, just play the game. He said, I'd never had issues throwing the baseball, but we saw him have a bunch.
Yes.
But I thought he did get better as the year went on.
He did.
0-2 pitch. Spoiled by fielder.
And I know you mentioned the other night that he's on the disabled list, but with a wrist injury, and you wonder just how Toronto has perceived him, because it'd have to be disappointing.
88 at bats with the Blue Jays and hitting .216.
Well, he's missed considerable time.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss and a strikeout of fielder. Final Ice Mountain autograph night of the season is tomorrow. Cards and Brewers. Meet some of your favorite players. Pick up an autograph. Alumni will be here as well. Visit Cardinals.com/promotions. And tomorrow, $15 seats. Pavilion level, $15 as a part of dynamic pricing.
A lot more coaching is being done at the major league level today. Mac keeps things very simple and very positive for the players.
Famous day in his career was Labor Day in '98. Tied Roger Maris. We saw that replay yesterday. Mark McGwire with home run number 61. Two balls and one strike.
Shade him a little bit to the opposite field in the outfield.
Good pitch, 2-2.
Big gap out in left center.
McGee has walked, also grounded out to third. Morgan, the runner at first base. Then Braun, after his single, fly to center, fielder a strikeout. Here's a 2-2. Another check on Morgan. Oh, they almost got him.
Quick throw. Sure looked like he tagged him before he got his hand to the bag.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Up the middle. And Furcal will step on the bag. That's 8 left on in 5 innings. What a matchup. Greinke and Carpenter will come your way at 6:30 tomorrow on Fox Sports Midwest.
And we'll talk about this more tomorrow with Carpenter, but he's got the least amount of run support of any of the Cardinal starters. But I heard that he's had more than 60 errors, while he's pitching. Errors behind him.
For Kyle, look at that. Bounces into left for a base hit.
See that little play right there?
That's fun to watch.
I saw Matty Alou used to practice that. Kind of a bunt situation, and just try to punch the ball in the air, but just get it enough to get it over the infield and get that base hit.
Remember, he tried to do that the other day and lined out, but this is perfectly placed.
That's fun to watch when you see somebody do that. Just has that.
Sure is.
The magical bat. You can guide that ball where you want it. Sitting on 298 career steals. I think he's only attempted 1 or 2 as a Cardinal. And most of the time, if somebody had fouled it off. John Jay now going to have a little conversation with Oquendo. Cardinals have hit into 150 double plays. The record, I believe, is National League record is 165, and that was set by the 1958 Cardinals.
0-1 pitch to John Jay. Showing bunt. Gallardo only played at first.
Good sacrifice there, getting Vercal into scoring position. 3-0. You want to keep on pushing to get over 5 runs at least. And one of the rare times when you bunt ahead of Albert, leaving first base open.
1 out, runner at second base. Man on deck is homer tonight. That was Holiday. Pujols has walked and rounded out to deep short.
Insane numbers against Gallardo.
Outfield very, very deep and straight away. You noticed, Al, that last time a little bit of a shift on for Pujols. Big hitting lane to the right side on the infield.
You can see where the second baseman is playing. If he can just kind of punch this ball through the right side, almost an automatic hit.
Here's the 0-1.
And as deep as Hart is, maybe even an RBI.
Every day as we get closer to the end of the season, I'm sure you're going to see more and more written about Pujols in free agency. It'll be talked about a little bit more. That will be the #1 story in baseball, more than likely. Certainly with the Cardinals. That hits Pujols. As it bounced off the catcher, hit Pujols, came right back to him, and Vercal winds up at third.
McCrory never could find the ball, so almost a bad break. As watch this ball, instead of going all the way back, it goes off the mask, hits Albert, and then stays right at the feet of LaCroix, but he ends up dropping it, and that assured that Vercal went into third on the wild pitch. Albert needs base hits, and he also needs RBIs.
15 shy of 100. Came in hitting .295. He's at .294. Infield is in, and he taps it foul. 2-2.
Already down by 3, but those middle infielders aren't too comfortable playing in with Albert at the plate.
Vercal, the runner at third base.
Third baseman actually playing further back than shortstop.
I don't blame him.
That's what I meant.
There it is. It's hit to McGee. A long throw and makes the play.
remember you were talking. I mean, I think it was McGuire hitting. You were talking about third baseman playing in, and I go, Dan, you're feeling sorry for the third baseman playing in. Look at the pitcher. You know, he's 60 feet, and then by the time he pitches, he's 50 feet charging a line drive.
Right. Hitting the road, take the Cardinals with you. MLB.TV for the final few weeks of this regular season. Get more details at Cardinals.com. It's MLB.TV, where baseball is everywhere. Here's Holiday with a runner at third and 2 down. Saw Bronson Arroyo take a screamer off the leg the other day. I believe that was Furcal who hit it.
Yes, it was. Made a nice play. He recovered and threw him out, but he's been feeling it for the last couple days.
1-0 pitch. Up and in. Yeah, he recovered it, made the throw, and then ran right off the field and right into the clubhouse.
I'm sure he had the commissioner's signature on his upper thigh.
That was brutal. The 2-1. Holiday. High fly ball right center. And that stays in the ballpark. A lot of fly balls have died on the track tonight. It's 3-0. Or visit Kia.com. By the state of Missouri Tobacco Quit Line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. And for a limited time, Jack's Really Big Chicken Sandwich Combo is back for only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. The Gateway City. Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin with you. Underway here in the top of the 6th. Ineski Betancourt. He's popped out and also flied out 0 for 2.
3 for 4 yesterday and 4 for 10 on the road trip.
Chevy bringing you Fox Tracks this half inning. And a swing and a miss. A strikeout for Kyle Loesch. 3 pitches and the strikeout.
Now pitching on 9 days rest. He's made 80 pitches. Cool evening, so you would think he'd be able to get through this inning and at least one more.
Counsell on the first pitch, pops it up left side and out of play. Down here for Craig, hitting 171. Saw last time out, Loesch wasn't overly effective, but did enough to pick up a win. And in doing so, he picked up career win number 100. That changeup has been effective tonight. Popped up, shallow left for Cowell. Guys that have picked up their 100th career win this season: Marquis, Pavano, Pinheiro, Herron, Verlander, Loesch, Batista.
Yeah, and look at Pinheiro, Herron, Loesch, Jason Marquis, all former Cardinal pitchers.
Carl Pavano gave up McGuire's 70th home run, and he was a member of Montreal back in 1998.
That's amazing that he's still pitching. He's had a second life.
Thinking about guys on that list that would get to 200, 250, maybe 300. Verlander's had an unbelievable year.
Well, Verlander's going to get to 200 more than likely, but a lot of people think you may never see another 300 game winner.
Many factors play into that. Probably the one that comes to mind for most is, do these players have a motivation to continue a career?
Correct.
Hit to the right side. Knocked down by Schumacher. Stays with it. Safe.
Schu knocks it down. He's got that strong throwing arm. Spins and throws. Right there, a strike to Albert, but very close play. Goes LaCroix's way.
Inning extended to Gallardo.
Kyle Loesch's had to bring out his entire arsenal when he's facing Gallardo. Good hitting pitcher. 230 now.
Nothing in two. Singled up the middle last time up, and has also struck out. Changeup, like I said earlier, Al, has been effective tonight.
No doubt about it. That was the pitch that Westbrook got a lot of strikeouts on, and it's the same pitch that Kyle Loesch. A little different because the Brewers will know that that's part of Kyle's reputation and his repertoire, where Westbrook, you don't think of him as a changeup pitcher at all.
0-2 pitch on its way. Strikeout for Kyle Loesch. 2 in the inning. Berkman, Freese, and Schumacher coming up. in baseball history. The Bennis brothers square off. This is back in 2002. It'd be a rough night for Allen. It's Corey Patterson right there in center. And Andy really reinvented himself at the tail end of that season and really put the Cardinals on his back at times. Cardinals were talking about bringing him back. Wanted to, but Andy said, that's enough.
But you remember, it's a very awkward situation where Andy had a trouble in a game out in Arizona, and they basically released him. And then later on that year, they re-signed him, and he became the savior. It's very effectively for him. And like you said, then they wanted to bring him back the next year, and he goes, "Nah, that's it. Be a family man."
Yeah, he was. It wasn't really a release. It was a situation where they had to finish up his contract, and at that point, they were kind of done with him.
Kind of put him in limbo, you know, like on a restricted list or something.
Ground ball to Betancourt. And Berkman retired. He has an RBI tonight. And then after what they dealt with, they needed an arm. And he comes back. Chuck Finley had been picked up. Learns the splitter of the fork ball, and boy, was he good.
Second half, it seemed like he might have had the best ERA in the National League.
Right. David Freese, 0 for 2. He is struck out and also grounded out to short. Alan Bennis is working as a scout with the Cardinals.
Salas continues to throw in the Cardinal bullpen, so he was up a little bit last inning. I'm not sure if Loesch's night is through.
It out of play.
Kyle, 6 shutout innings tonight on 4 hits against a very good hitting ball club. But Dan, they really haven't swung the bat for about a month. But their very good starting pitching has kept them right in all these games.
You talked about it, Al. It's really been since day one for Milwaukee that solid starting pitching. Pitching is what wins.
No doubt. And
no argument from Freese, and a strikeout. Al is excited about this. The Fox Sports Midwest girls will be here at Busch Stadium tomorrow night for the Cardinals live pregame show. And for even more on the girls, make sure to follow them on Twitter and like them on Facebook.
So I'm really excited about that.
You'll be a part of the pregame tomorrow. And
I'm so excited, I thought it was tonight.
I thought it was tonight, too.
That's what we were told.
You actually brought your best suit.
I don't know about that, but brought one.
Here's Schumacher with 2 down and nobody on. 3-0 here in the 6th. Let's hope the fans are all right. You can see the reaction of Schumacher, one of concern.
It seems like they're all laughing and now they're clapping, but
it's scary. A 2-1 pitch to Skip. 2-2. This pitch number 101 for Gallardo.
who started pitch counts?
I think that's your favorite, along with quality starts.
Quality start was, both of them were probably started by agents.
(3-2). Hit sharply to first, and fielder will take it himself. Leadoff man Corey Hart coming up when we come back. Price, get your food, get your drink, and a ticket to the game. Cardinals.com to find out more. Wonder how that kid is doing out in right.
I was wondering too. I bet he's still sleeping. What do you say?
I'm with you, and we're right. He has not moved. Chevy call to the pen, and Fernando Salas takes over here in the 7th inning for Kyle Loesch, who has a chance to pick up a win. That would be number 13.
Salas preparing for the 59th time. He's got the most saves on the ball club, but seems like Mott is being auditioned.
6 innings, no runs, 4 hits, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 91 pitches tonight for Kyle Loesch. Hart hits a fly ball into right. Berkman, 1 away.
Scalzo went in to play defense, but they were put in straight up, so this is just going to be a 1-inning appearance for Salas. Scalzo batting in Freeze's spot, and the pitcher spot is due up second.
Nyjer Morgan has singled back in the 5th, left stranded. Milwaukee has left 9 on tonight. Mentioned it the other day that club really loves the fact that Salas comes in pumping strikes. He's not afraid.
Well, Salas had a good spring, but did not make the team out of Florida because they said, you know, you can only pitch 1 inning. And then when he was recalled, he started pitching multiple innings. And a few of his saves have been more than 1 inning. His value has gone up quite a bit.
2-2 the count on Nyjer Morgan. Fox Tracks brought to you by Chevy. Popped up and out of play. A note here from Jay Jackman. Wants to say hi to one of the oldest Cardinal fans that he knows. Turns 90. That's what the note says. He said he's an old man but loves his Cardinal baseball and his Blues hockey, and that's Mike Langenbrunner. So, Mike, hope to see you soon here at the ballpark. That's from your old buddy, Jay Jackman. Base hit for Morgan.
Does Mike know that he's 90?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Okay. There's a pitch that Nyjer just hit up the middle for the base hit. He's 2 for 4 on the evening.
Older gentleman, but still likes to head down to both Busch Stadium, it said, and also check out a little hockey. Been around a long time, 90 years. It's a lot of baseball.
A lot of baseball, a lot of good winning baseball if you're a Cardinal fan.
Runner at first, and here is Ryan Braun. 1 out. See if the Cardinals can't get a double play. Morgan had a stolen base if he wanted it. He got a pretty good jump, then stopped.
He just jumped out there with a secondary lead, but like you said, as he went out there, he was 1/3 of the way there.
Tony La Russa was saying the other day, just about all his veterans, with or without speed, have the green light. So the younger guys, that's who you really put the stop sign on or give those signs to. But he was mainly talking about, guys like Pujols and Molina that you wouldn't really think of as base stealers, but they have the green light because of their smarts on the base paths.
Well, maybe we better take the green light off, as they've only stole 44 and been caught 33 times. Not a good ratio.
Here's a ground ball left side for Kyle. Can he get the lead man? He does.
Showing that range as he was up the middle, and
good play here by Schumacher as well.
it's a low throw there. Got the runner coming down on top of you, but you got to concentrate on maybe getting that guy. So Zepchinski warming up, and it looks like he's going to appear right now against Fielder.
he will get. Prince Fielder, since the trade, 0-1 with a 2.03 ERA.
A solid season with Toronto or with the Cardinals. Still trying to figure out what they want to do with him, as he can be a short man like he is tonight, be a long reliever, and even a spot starter, or put him in the rotation. He's only 25.
Prince 0 for 2.
He has come in a couple times to face Prince Fielder, and my recollection, it seemed like both times he walked him.
One pitch to Fielder. It's sharply but foul.
Where will Prince Fielder end up next season?
I'll take a guess and say Chicago.
You know, one time it seemed like Chicago was saying that, you know, okay, they didn't have the appetite for Pujols' contract. I'm not even sure if they could afford to pay him right now.
0-2 pitch to Fielder.
You know, it's kind of a shame, and I think Milwaukee, who's made last couple of years, have tried to make long-term contract offers to him. He's resisted. But if they get into postseason play, and you know, they have a good clubhouse and seem to have a lot of fun, it might be the pressure to kind of maybe get him to re-up. Not always greener on the other side of the pasture, is it?
Nope. Seen that a bunch.
Now McClellan warming up behind Zepchinski. Could be a one batter appearance. Hopefully it ends the inning.
Tapped foul.
Lefties have batted 182, 16 for 88, and just 4 extra base hits this year. One home run.
Fielder's hit 275 against lefties this year. 6 home runs, 28 RBIs. Most of that damage obviously done against righties. Out of play. Scalzo gives it a look. The Cardinals have just 4 hits tonight, but 2 of the 4 have been home runs. Jay and Holiday have gone deep.
And a lot of times the lefty-righty matchups really doesn't mean a lot. You know, if you make a good pitch to any batter, you got a chance to get him out. You make a bad pitch, hang and breaking ball. Doesn't matter if it's lefty-lefty, they can lose it.
Swing and a miss. Good job by Zepchinski. Time to stretch here at the ballpark. 3-0 St. Louis. By the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Cameron Lowe will come in here, 66th appearance. He has really been good of late. Last 15 appearances, he has a 0.49 ERA, 1 earned run in 18 1/3 innings. And if you really look, he joined the team last season on June the 1st, and he has been a very reliable setup man to what is now double closers for Milwaukee.
Pitching. They've got it.
Can't have enough of it.
Yadier Molina. Cardinals lead by 3, bottom of the 7th here at Busch Stadium. Molina has grounded out and walked. Both starters tonight effective. Gallardo, though, did give up 3 runs, pair of solo home runs. And Loesch effective on the other end as Tony's on the phone to the bullpen.
Alan Craig is at the on-deck circle.
Here's a grounder deep in the hole. Betancourt, long throw. Wow. Shows off the arm. What a play there.
He's extremely talented. He came over in the Greinke trade. Shows his arm strength. See where he's playing. He's got to go a few steps out on the outfield grass, catch that ball, throw the off balance, throw a strike over to fielder.
It's one you might think that he would stop, plant, and throw, but going away from first base, still made it on a fly.
Probably should have done that with Molina running. And Alan Craig here will bat for Zepchinski.
One on, nobody on. Craig looks at a strike. You wonder what kind of numbers he could put up being an everyday player. If he would get 450, 500 at bats.
He missed 54 games with a fractured kneecap. He was hitting 336 before the injury. He's down to 307, but he's still a very intriguing young man. He had to learn how to play coming off the bench.
0-2 pitch. He will not be your everyday center fielder. He might be your everyday right fielder. You never know. First base.
Trying to find a position for him. That's the trick. As probably best suited for corner outfielder. Remember, he's played third. He's played a little second and center field, but you're sacrificing defense when you do so.
Here's a 1-2. Hit left side and a base hit. Base hit, Alan Craig. 1 out hit, back to the top of the lineup.
Gets that ball through the hole. This time Betancourt couldn't come up with it. And Tyler Green, who just recalled today from AAA, still leads the ball club in steals.
And he might be your best threat. Comes off the bench. And here is Furcal. Talked about it. Furcal has been stuck at 298. Stolen base department.
Dan, when you have somebody at 6'8" like Cameron Lowe is, they got to be slow to the plate.
There goes Green. Great jump. Hit and run was on. Base hit out to left. Tyler Green on his way to third. Boy, you like to see that, don't you?
Well, how about the way Furcal just guided that ball to the vacated shortstop area. High bouncer, and it goes right in through.
Tyler Green off with a pitch. Sees that it goes into left. They try to deke him. He's safe at third. Safe and secure. New York Life.
Remember how he guided it last time? He does somewhat the same here, but hits down on the ball, making sure you don't line it with the runner going and turn it into a double play that way.
Runners at first and third for John Jay. Outfield is straight away and deep.
Cardinals hitters haven't had a lot of success against Cameron Lowe. Jay 1 for 4.
Taps it foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Earlier tonight, back in the 3rd inning, John Jay would go deep. And that was his 10th of the year. RBI number 34.
One for 4 off of Cameron Lowe, and that one hit was a home run.
Slap the other way. This ball will get down and a run will score to make it 4-0. Nice piece of hitting by John Jay.
That ball out away from him, just guides the ball into left field. We've seen John Jay hit the ball there a lot, and then on occasion turn on it like he did earlier for the home run. 4-0 now, and Albert Pujols up. Pujols 1 for 7 against Lowe.
First pitch to Albert. Taken for his strike. So Pujols has walked in twice, grounded out. Came up last time with a runner at third, couldn't bring him in.
Albert hasn't had a lot of success against Milwaukee this season, but the last game here, the last time we played him, and the last game in Cincinnati, in Milwaukee, both of them were 4-hit games.
The 0-1 pitch. Hit sharply to third, and a double play ball. Out at second and out at first. Brought to you by Bud Light Lime, the just right taste of Bud Light with a refreshing splash of 100% natural lime flavor. By Bank of America, where ATM deposits are as easy as an infield fly. No deposit slip, no envelope. With Bank of America, member FDIC. And by AT&T. This is Kyle McClellan here in the 8th inning. 4-0 St. Louis. A 2 RBI night for John Jay. And here is Casey McGee. Kyle has been roughed up his last couple of outings. McGee 0 for 2 on the night. Walked back in the first.
Did have 2 scoreless innings last Wednesday at Milwaukee for his 4th hold. Kyle made 17 starts, winning 7 ball games. Then he's been in relief and won 3 real quickly to get to 10 wins. a new career high in innings pitched this year. I mean, that goes back even to his minor league days.
Here's a 2-2. Hit out of play. $35,397. 35397. Many fans taking advantage of dynamic pricing, and they can do so again tomorrow with $15 seats. Over 35,000. Foul ball. That guy is still sleeping.
Once he hit the car, he'll wake up.
Be up all night. Looks like Grandpa's starting to doze off a little bit.
That's the son. That's Daddy there. Oh, he's looking at
his phone.
He's looking at his phone.
Breaking ball misses in. 3-2. Fly ball out to left. Holiday, one away.
He looks like he might have hurt his foot or something, limping slightly. Never got all the way down to the first base bag. And taking his time, hitting off the field.
He did have a foul ball off his foot earlier in the at bat. Not sure if that's it or something caught when he started to run. That's not good. Betancourt with one out, nobody on. He has popped out, flied out, and struck out 0 for 3. Sometimes our field mics will catch some inappropriate language, so we apologize if you hear some of that at times throughout our season, like a couple of moments ago. 1 strike. Two and two. Taylor Green is on deck. Off-speed pitch, line to short. 2 away. You see McClellan out and watching his leg kick. It just basically he picks up that front leg and falls towards home plate.
Yeah, you would seem like I remember him doing a little bit more with that, lifting a little higher. Brings it up about half a dozen inches.
Here's Green with 2 outs and nobody on. Just picks it up and falls towards the plate.
It's been successful, but don't you know, I can understand that with men on base.
Little floater and a base hit. Yeah, trying to be as quick to the plate as you possibly can. Anytime I think leg kick, I think Tom Seaver. The drive that he had. Actually see dirt on his knee and the back leg.
We'd actually wear a knee pad because he would drag that back leg across the mound, as he was really the drop and drive, where guys more of the philosophy of tall and fall.
Jonathan Lucroy 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. Batting .276 now on the year. We're in the 8th, 2 outs, runner at first, and this is hit out to center field. Jay won't get it, goes right by him, and that will go all the way to the wall. A run will score. Lucroy on his way to second base. He'll stop there.
John Jay got a little too close, and that ball just scooted right on by him. Kotze now will pinch hit for Cameron Lowe, and Derek Locris out to visit Kyle McClellan. They scored that a double and RBI. Kotze has been a very solid of late, a veteran pinch hitter, but he's batting .393 over his last 15 games. He's hit 300 this year against St. Louis. Signed as a free agent back in February of this year.
Foul back by Kotze.
McClellan, over the course of his career, has had good success against left-handed batters.
Double, you say, huh?
That's what the official scorer said.
Okay.
Double. I didn't say. I repeated what he said.
I got you.
It's played that John Jay played it into a double. Shouldn't have been one.
It's pretty generous.
Yes.
1-2 the count. See McClellan really fighting it at times with that breaking ball, which, when it's right, is a nasty pitch.
You know, Dan, by that real short, pick up that leg and bring it. You know, sometimes it can, you know, produce the high and the way breaking ball, because, you know, your lower half is ahead of your arm, and you're kind of your arm doesn't catch up to the lower half, and so you just kind of spin it up there.
There's a fastball and a ground ball to second. Schumacher makes the play. Brewers pick up a run. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Holiday, Berkman, Descalso coming up. It's 4-1. Matt Holliday will lead it off for the Redbirds. 7 hits aside, the Brewers have stranded 11 tonight. Frankie De La Cruz, his 8th appearance. Green takes over at second.
He does stay in the game, play third.
I'm surprised, aren't you?
Yeah.
Just watching how he limped off the field and into the dugout. You didn't think he would come back, but McGee is there. Wrap up the series with Milwaukee tomorrow. Great matchup. Carpenter and Greinke. Weather should be ideal, so come on down. A couple of former Cy Young Award winners going head-to-head. Carpenter trying to even up his record to 9-9. Greinke looking for win number 15. He's 14-5 this season. On the air at 6:30.
But one thing about Greinke is he's had his problems on the road. He's 10-0 at home. Cardinals are facing Frankie De La Cruz. They saw him a couple times in Milwaukee. Last season he was with the Yakult Swallows of the Japanese Central League.
Holiday off the glove of Betancourt, gets up, fires to first, safe.
Holiday's second hit. He had a home run. His number 22 hit this one extremely hard. Betancourt did a nice job to block it. Gets up, but Holiday always running hard down the line. He beats it out. Oh, Johnny Cash intro music for Berkman, huh? It's about the only one I ever recognize.
The players, if you're wondering, pick their own music. And they walk up to the batter's box, their intro music.
I was playing today, I might use the theme music to True Blood.
Is that right?
That would be appropriate, wouldn't it?
Well, I'm not sure why. It's a show about vampires.
Well, you know, I was from the Transylvania part.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, Al, let's just move on.
Good point.
Berkman with a base hit into right.
Berkman's multi-hit game.
I like that show, by the way.
It is pretty.
I'm a fan.
If you don't, you know, you hear what the content is, and you say, "Wait a minute," but it is a good show.
Very much so.
We have one thing in common.
All over it.
There's a major league debut happening at first base.
Good to see this. Adron Chambers.
He is such a nice young man. Met him in Memphis on the Caravan, and Cardinals just really, this is just a really talented young athlete.
Pushed foul by Descalso.
Really kind of learning the game, and he had a solid season at AAA. Now he's got his name announced.
Visiting player, home player. What a neat moment. You never get sick of seeing that either. Guys that make their major league debut, they've worked so hard to get to this level. And you know his heart is racing a mile a minute right now.
Yeah, you know, I mean, most of the time you dream about coming to the plate and in your debut and hitting a home run or something, but probably a way to ease him in and utilize one of his greatest skills, his running speed.
Descalso at the plate. 0-1 pitch. Gets through the catcher, and the runners advance to second and third.
Chambers was the center fielder at Memphis this year, his primary position. And De La Cruz just throws this one in the dirt, and LaCroix comes up too quickly. Frankie might think he's back at in the Japanese league, where he posted a 7.84 ERA.
1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball and a foul ball.
Crowd's into it, isn't it?
Yeah. Even Sookie would disagree with that call.
DJ Rayburn, our first base umpire. And look, he's old enough, doesn't he?
Fan of Trueblood, first base umpire.
How many references can we make?
Big Cardinal fan Bill Compton. Off the end of the bat, shallow left, and a basket catch made by Braun.
Braun's made 1 error on the year, and as you said, he was a liability at third base. He came up and drove in a ton of runs, but he let in a ton of runs as a third baseman. They moved him to left field, and he's been very solid defensively out there, improving every year.
One out, runners at second and third for Schumacher.
Mentioned we saw De La Cruz last week in a couple appearances. Only Cardinal to have a hit against him was Albert Pujols before tonight. Schumacher 0 for 1. A couple RBIs sitting out there. Base hit, should score 2.
Here's a 2-1 pitch to Skip. 2-2. Molina on deck.
Jason Mott warming up. Currently it's a save situation, but the Cardinals score any runs, it will not be a save situation, but Mott will come in either way. Still important for him to pitch in the 9th inning. 9th inning of a game that they're leading.
The 2-2. Schumacher can't believe it. Tony La Russa is fired up too.
Not only is the crowd into it, so is the Cardinals.
Tony screaming down there.
You don't see Schumacher react much at all. See where the pitch is. Right, way outside.
Low.
All right, Todd. Time is being called. Pitching coach out to talk to De La Cruz with first base open and Molina. You know, Daryl Cousins mentioned how high he was standing early, and on the low pitch, you know, he's either got to guess or, you know.
Tell you what, you don't see Schumacher show that kind of emotion or even argue.
No.
You know. Al, you talked about it earlier where Cousins sets himself up behind home plate and how tall he is, and that's a freeze of where the pitch was caught and his look at it.
You know, I mean, you could just see right there that, you know, standing too tall. He's got to guess at the low pitch. Early in the game, he wouldn't give any low pitches. And then that one not only low, but outside. Jerry Meals the other day, and he's smaller and younger than Daryl Cousins, was crawling right behind and had his head at the same level as the catcher. And a lot of low pitches were called strikes correctly.
1 ball, 1 strike.
Now, watch where he sets up. He's almost at head level.
Fly ball into right center. Hart, Morgan, and Braun coming up. 4-1 St. Louis.
Coming up after the game on the post-game edition of Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live, Pat Paris and Rick Horton waiting in the wings. Kyle Lowe's cruises. They'll break down his night. We'll have a Rick's rant. Where are the pennant chases? That's his beef. And Tony TV. That kid is still asleep. Don't disturb him. We go back to the booth and Dan and Al, guys.
We first saw that young man in the 3rd inning, and he was sleeping then. He slept through a couple of home runs. And he is not woke up. Uh-oh, there's movement.
Uh-oh. He doesn't want to wake up.
Here is Corey Hart, top of the lineup. Mott into the ball game. Strike 1. 4-1 St. Louis.
Jason started out with a breaking ball. That's going to be such an important aspect for him as he moves along. Save opportunity here.
What do you think, Al? Is this the guy for next year at the end of games? Does he get that look in spring training?
In my mind, right now, who's on the 25-man roster, I'd say yes.
You know, you think about him, though, developing that secondary pitch.
Well, he says he has confidence in it. Now, the catchers have been using it, calling it a lot more, and it's gotten much more effective.
1-2 pitch. Base hit.
There he throws it there and gives up a base hit. When you use it, and don't use it too much. Set up away, and this ball started to go there. Just had a little wrinkle in it, but doesn't get it far enough, and Corey Hart gets a good swing on it. Picks up his 2nd hit of the game. Hart extended his hitting streak. First time up.
18 games.
And really, I think it's 14 games against the Cardinals.
Here's Niger Morgan. Pujols playing behind the runner at first.
That run really doesn't mean much. You know, obviously, you don't want it to score, but left-handed batter, you gave yourself a better fielding position.
Morgan is struck out, flied out, and a pair of singles. Foul tip.
You know, when you talk to Tony La Russa, he will tell you that the guy that they really wish they could see more of is Lance Lynn. And they believe that maybe Lance Lynn's future is the closer of the Cardinals. Felt last season they should have gone out and got an established closer. Luke Franklin just back to the 8th inning.
And a base hit into right. The tying run now comes to the plate. Big bats coming up. Well, it gets a little interesting now. Derek Lilliquist out to visit. Jason Mott, longest streaks of not allowing an earned run since 1974. The Mad Hungarian on that list, 25 1/3. Rick Horton as well. See him on the post game. Climbing up that list, edging closer to Steve Klein.
Arthur Rhodes getting up now. Well, that's just in case if they want to bring in Arthur Rhodes for Prince Fielder. And right now, Mott has to get the National League's leading hitter.
Braun with a walk. He's reached on an air. He's flied out and also hit into a fielder's choice. He's 0 for 3.
Came in National League's leading hitter. He scored the most runs in the National League and has the best slugging percentage.
First pitch to Braun. Big out here. Infield fly has been called. Furcal makes the catch. One away.
Well, he's checking again to see. The only thing you could suspect is either find out if Arthur Rhodes is ready or set him down. Looks like they tell him to back off because Mott's going to face Prince Fielder.
McGee on deck. And it's a base hit to left. The shift was on. Hart being waved in. He'll score to make it 4-2. Tying runs are on. Go ahead run comes to the plate.
108th RBI for Prince Fielder. You see the shift. See where shortstop playing right behind second base and hits it right through the vacated shortstop spot.
So the streak is over.
Start a new one.
Here's McGee, and we didn't think that he would stay in the game. Previous at bat, limped out of the box, limped very slowly to the dugout, but he's still in there.
Now Dotel has joined Arthur Rhodes in the Cardinal bullpen.
Betancourt is on deck. Brewers have had all kinds of chances tonight. They've stranded 11.
Let's hope they strand 13. Get a double play ball and beat 12.
One ball, one strike.
It's great that Mott, is really incorporating more of that breaking ball, but you don't want to see him lose the ball game trying to work on that too much.
And McGee didn't like that call. McGee with a walk, a ground out, fielder's choice, and a fly out. 1 for 6 in his career against the hard-throwing Mott. On 1 and 2. It's sharply to third. Out at second. It's a double play to end the game. Cardinals hold on 4-2. John Jay, our Budweiser player of the game. 2 for 3 with a solo home run.
Good game. Nice to see some of the guys get some hits and hold on and win a low-scoring game, but probably too late.
Post-game show coming up. Cardinals hold on for the 4-2 win.